Welcome
Welcome
to Shade and the
Shade.
City. I am your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are jumping into our review of Love and Marriage. No, it's not Love and Marriage. It's Love is Blind.
Love is Blind.
All these love shows. It ain't got no love in them. But yeah, we're jumping into Love is Blind. We are about to cover, I think it's season 5. We're covering episodes 1 through 4 because, you know, they just drop it on you like that. And yeah. So
like
it's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, y'all. So thank you for joining us, Shade Squad, and all of our new viewers. If you have not already, please make sure y'all hit that like button
and the subscribe button.
And y'all, let's jump right into it because I've been holding it in. I purposely did not talk to her off camera about what I watched.
She did.
I could just.
I'm gonna hold it.
I said just so I could give it all to y'all. Okay. So yeah, let's get into it and let's get shady. All right, y'all. So we're gonna break, I'm gonna do the little chapters for y'all so y'all can skip ahead to whatever episodes y'all want. But I'm gonna try to break it down and episode 1, episode 2. That's how we're gonna do it here, okay?
And I'm gonna try not to give it away because I don't have mine by episodes.
Yeah, she be doing a lot. She be doing a lot.
I just know what the hell happened.
So as we know, Vanessa and Nick are still hosting the show. I think that I didn't watch the last 2 seasons, but based off feedback that I heard about the last reunion, people would have preferred if they would have brought in Lauren and Cameron. And I can't say that I disagree. I actually like Lauren and Cameron, and I think they're the only successful couple from the show that are still together. So, I'm all about it. But they come out, they do their little spiel, the pods are finally open. So then we see Milton. He's 24. He makes a connection with Lydia, who is 30. And she's a geologist and he's an engineer. So there's like some, nerdy connection there. And I thought that was really cute. But then we also see her connecting with Izzy. Now y'all gonna learn Izzy's hot out here.
Let me ask you, did you think Milton was cute though?
Maybe his hair. I liked his curls. I'm like, smooth wave Morier.
He's so tall, you would never see them damn things.
Oh, yeah. Well, where I'm at, yeah, I would never see them. Yeah. Well, that's not true. But anyway. I mean, once you come down on my level.
Unless, if you keep your eyes open the entire time, I guess.
Well, I like it. So we then see her connecting with Izzy, who's 29. He's of Mexican descent, and he wants to enjoy time with his spouse before having kids. But we also see, as I said, that Izzy is a hot commodity out in these pods, and he's connecting with several ladies. And I said, well, Izzy. Now Milton.
I think Treese felt the connection.
No, I ain't feel no connection with Izzy.
Me too. You just thought he was cute.
He wasn't bad on the eyes. I mean, but Milton wouldn't have done it for me.
No, I said Izzy.
Oh, Izzy. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Izzy wouldn't have done it for me.
That ain't the text I got.
No, I thought he was like, okay, but no, again, I don't want to give it away, but there's a lot of things. His voice, like there's a lot. He seems like a great person, representative.
I don't think they ever really have anybody on here who's like super duper attractive.
Oh, well,
for the men
oh,
anyway.
For the men.
Because some of the women I do think are really pretty.
I don't know. I can't agree, sugar butt. So,
No.
So a lot of the ladies think that Milton is boring. And as I said, they all attracted to Izzy. And actually, I say in my notes, and I'm a little attracted to Izzy, and he's probably going to end up being a boy because I'm attracted to him. So, yeah. That's what my notes say. So she might be right. We learned Taylor struggled with loving herself. And I put this guy, but what was the guy's name? I don't think I ever got her person's name.
Who?
The guy Taylor and Sugar Butt.
Oh, he's just Sugar Butt.
Oh, okay. Well, Taylor and her Sugar Butt, they just all over each other. And, he's like, he'll stop talking to every girl and propose to her right now. And then we see Uche, we wait till we get into him. He got a lot with him and Aaliyah, but they seem to be, vibing in their pods. And I said, okay, it was cute at first. Notice
his voice annoyed me.
Uche, yeah.
Look, talking to him through the pods, it would have never worked because
I know he's a lawyer, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with some. I'll leave it up. I love speaking with someone that's intelligent, but he gives me the vibe that he talks at you versus to you.
Well, no, it's not. It's not even what he's saying. It's his voice. It's literally just his voice. It's like very like this, and it's very annoying. That's what I meant.
Very monotone.
It's disgusting.
Well, what I thought was interesting. We see that Uche and Aaliyah connected because they have a love for poetry. And she says that her favorite movie is Love Jones, and shout out to her for that, However, he was definitely not giving a brother to the night. By no means. He couldn't be the funk in my left eye or anything in my right. Okay. Now Izzy seems to be into Johnny and Stacy. Okay. They're two very different girls. I actually don't see
and what's her face too.
Oh, Lydia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't see the connection with Johnny and Izzy. Chris shares with Johnny that he was pushed into a very sad situation when he was 17, and it didn't feel good for him. And, that's how he lost his, virginity. And so he's upset about that. And Johnny sympathizes with him, and I don't know, it's giving real trauma bond. But they feel safe with each other. And he tells her that he wants to be with her all the time. All the time. And I said, Chris is giving clingy. A little bit. But I guess when you're in a pod, I don't know. Anyway, now we see Izzy telling Lydia how, they bond over being the same and giving. Lydia tells him she wants to be with him and he's number one. And Izzy says, sorry you feel that way, because I don't. But it's been real. So
pretty much right now.
Right. Taylor feels like she's leaving with a husband. Oh, his name is JP. And he makes her fit, and then that's when Sugar Butt comes about. So that's why I keep referring to Nell, because I'm not gonna lie to you, that was my favorite. I said, oh, I love the Sugar Butt couple. I like them. Sugar Butt. But anyway, maybe because I'm from the country. That's very country to me to give somebody.
Thank goodness we won't have to hear it for much longer.
You know what, you're an ass. So Lydia and the other girl are talking about the other girl, so I imagine it was Aaliyah are talking about the connection with Izzy. No, was it she talking to Johnny, or was she talking to Stacy about the connection with Izzy? This is when he break Lydia's heart. Look, I'm jumping ahead my damn self. He tells Lydia she ain't it again. And she doesn't understand, and it's like, what's going on? What's wrong? And gives him a mouthful. And I felt like Lydia did a lot of begging for people to, be with her. And I thought y'all were supposed to choose each other, not you begging on the other side of the wall. Just what do they say in Love After Lockup? Have some respect about yourself. You pick up, have some dignity. So
totally different.
Yeah, so she goes back to the girls, all upset, crying, and Aaliyah's there to comfort her. And and they on their Mama D and I deserve to be loved. It was a whole moment. I love that Uche and Aaliyah basically are planning on leaving here together. They locked in. They not switching up. Okay. But then she reveals, dun 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 dun, she cheated. And the way I was I did tell Nels.
It was like 2 years ago, right?
It was 2 years ago. But what bothered me is the way he made her feel like the scum of the earth. Like she was just the bottom of the bottom. And I was like, well, that is so awful. And he was like, and you're a recent cheater. I actually think that was the name of the first episode. So she tries to defend herself. And when he's like, well, why didn't you break up with him? And she was like, well, I just didn't want to lose all of his good qualities. I was like, that's not a good answer, girl. But then, he's like, did you ever tell the boyfriend? And she's like, well, why the hell would I do that? If I'm cheating, it's for a reason.
You know now.
If we wanted to have an open relationship, it wouldn't be cheating. Come on, duh. So, and she's like, obviously she didn't want to hurt him. And he tells her the reason she didn't say anything was because of her and not because of him. He admits he cheated at 18, but it was just a kiss, and he can't really see where she's coming from. I said, Joe, old higher than mighty ass. This is where me and Uche started to go left. So Aaliyah basically says that moving forward, if she needed to, she would just break up, to try to make Uche more comfortable, but he's not okay with the timeline. She's hurt. He now sees her differently. And he tries to tell her, it's a good thing, but before he can, because she actually was honest and truthful with him, and he realized she didn't have to do that. But before he can express that to her, she already sliding down the wall. Just having an emotional breakdown, and everybody runs to her. And then here go Lydia. It's okay, girl. I deserve to be loved. And it was a whole little powwow. And so, she's like, he's not who, he's making me out to be, and I'm not that person. And I love him so much. And I was like, girl, I think the reason why I can't do the pods is, and now don't get me wrong, I'm all about emotional connections but because we haven't seen each other, because I feel like, yeah, we got emotions, but as soon as you tell me some that's really too left, that's okay. I'll go hop in another pod. I'm really good. I'm not about to be on the other side of this wall begging you for nothing.
You know why the pods couldn't work for me?
Why?
Because we build an emotional connection. I mean, this great connection, and yes, we decide.
Oh, because your physical is your thing.
We're leaving here together, and then when you come out to propose in person, we could be great friends. Because I'm never gonna want to bone. It would be like what's
Alyssa? It's giving Alyssa.
Was that her name? No.
From Married at First Sight?
Oh, that was her name.
That's what it's giving. I don't even want to sleep in the same room with you.
I don't. No, not Alyssa. No. The other chick. The one that we liked her dude. We was like, he's so sweet, he's so nice, and she's like, my coochie don't get wet for you.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember. Oh, Clint and Gina. No.
It was the black couple.
Oh, Jasmine and Michael.
Yeah.
Michael. Yeah.
It would be like that. Yeah. You're dope. I might even love you. I love you. You're dope. Yes, absolutely. We could be dope friends. But my coochie ain't gonna get wet for you.
Well, and all those people we just named are Married at First Sight, by the way, just so you know, so you're not confused and think we're naming people that are.
But if you like, you can go watch those reviews. So you can.
Yeah, you can, because we covered that too. Appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
And a subscribe button.
All right, episode 2. All right.
All of that happened in episode 1?
Yeah, all that happened in episode 1. So that's why I was sucked in. I was like, what? Well, so anyway.
I know, I was locked in too.
Lydia is still upset about Izzy. But she's trying to get back in these pod streets, right? Again, that would be me. I told Nails, and I'm gonna tell y'all, hear me clearly when I say this. If y'all need to go run back tape, okay? In the beginning, I could somewhat relate and identify with Lydia. I think I like her personality. As I told Nels, I feel a little bad for her at times until we get deeper into it. I feel a little bad for her at times because she can be a lot. She's very vivacious. And I sometimes feel like my personality is a lot, and everybody can't. The people that love it, but it's either you love or hate me. It's very few that are in between. And so, yeah, and it's not for everybody.
I feel
So,
like there's levels though. Like, yes, Treese, I wouldn't even call her being a lot. She just is animated. She is animated when she's expressing herself. She gives, animation. But I feel like with Lydia, she's always on. Treese is not always on. I
okay,
think there's I
okay,
think
I can
there's a huge
appreciate that.
difference.
I can appreciate that. I'll take
Yes,
that as a compliment. All right.
there's a huge difference.
So anyway, so she's hopping back in these pod streets. She goes on a little pod date with Milton again, and she starts getting emotional. Milton tells her that, she's his strongest connection. And he says that his associates, when he graduated high school, felt that, he was just growing up too fast. And they talk about age. And, because obviously there's an age difference. Lydia is 30 and Milton is 24. I believe.
Yep.
But they have a legit connection and they want to explore it. And I was like, well, that's cute. And
You
she
think you feel like it's a legit connection?
I already told y'all she was on the other side of the wall begging. I don't know why. I think again, I don't want to give it away because in the beginning, in episode 2, I was still riding for Lydia. And I was like, oh, I feel bad. She's misunderstood. We'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm not gonna lie, even before I saw, before I moved on to the other episodes, I kind of felt like she kind of got with him or accepted that connection because she really didn't have anymore. And she wanted to leave there with someone.
Or she just wanted to make sure that's why I don't want to give it away. She wanted to make sure she was a part of that process, put it like that.
Yeah, she wanted to leave there with someone.
No,
Exactly.
I don't think it's wanting to leave there with someone. I think it's she wanted to make sure she stayed in the mix to keep an eye
Oh,
on.
stayed through the process.
Mm-hmm. That's my belief. But all right, so JP reveals that he had issues with his mother, and he felt that, he felt bad because he's seen his sisters go through a lot. I don't know what
You calling him JP is just listen,
I'm
I don't
sorry,
like
sugar butt.
I was gonna say I don't like sugar, but that's what I know him as. So now when you
Okay,
say
so
JP, I'm
sugar
like,
butt is
are we
talking
talking about
about his
Tamar
trauma
still? Like what? Who the hell
with
is
his
JP?
mama. And I was like, okay, so I guess that's a sad story. Okay, again, it just, and but now his mom is better. I don't know what his mother went through. Did you understand that, or was this just like,
Girl, you paid attention to a lot of stuff I didn't.
well,
I
because
paid
I wanted
attention.
because again, this is important. If he has issues with his mother, this can somehow show up.
You'll find out it's not important at all.
Oh, you're stupid. But it might show up in how he treats her, how he talks to her. If they always
Guess what?
say, they
She's not
always say
patient enough.
how a man treats his mother or how he views his mother is how he may view you. So that's the only reason why I covered it. Because
Guess
obviously,
what? She was not patient enough to give a damn. She didn't
stop
want to
giving
find
me
out.
away. So
I just paid attention to all the drama. I paid attention to look, you're
and
sitting here talking about
her
ages and oh my
Taylor and Sugar Butt exchange I love yous and that, and I think that they're gonna ride off into the sunset. Now Uche and Aaliyah meet back up, and he apologizes for condemning her to hell and asks her to look past it because they may have issues when they get married, and I might still continue to treat you like shit, so I want you to get used to it now. He said his issue is lying, and he realized he was looking for something wrong, and the fact that she was truthful was much more impactful. So she forgives him and tells and he basically tells her he doesn't want to lose her, and Aaliyah says she'll never give him a reason to not trust her. And I was just like, girl, if only you knew all the secrets he got. But he got it always be the ones that be guilty but got the most judgment, I just swear. So then we see Izzy back up in Stacy's face. And he's trying real hard. He is 100% all up, wanting to be with her, but he's also still battling between Johnny. And Johnny is still battling with her crush on Izzy and Chris. Izzy shares with her how he hated being a Jehovah's Witness and how he looks forward to celebrating holidays with her family. And, you know, she invites
I
him
thought
to
that was kind of dope.
I thought that was cute too, even though he's not gonna make it to the family gathering. So Sugar Butt goes to Professor's love for Taylor, and I said, "Damn, this moved fast. This is only episode 2." And you know he proposes. It's like, let's do this, Sugar Butt. And so then at the same time, Johnny breaks Chris's heart and tells him that she has a deeper connection with Izzy. And he's obviously hurt by this. He in the pod crying. He go back to the house crying. They like, man, what's wrong? Oh, okay. Yeah, ain't nobody else. You just ain't gonna hop in one of these other pods and make it do what it do. But because I feel like this is just me, and I don't know. And I would actually kind of how we know a little bit about like Ready to Love because we talked to like some of the cast. I would really like to know from some of the Love is Blind people how it goes down, because even when I noticed a lot of times I would like see people in the background that they never show, they never talk to, they don't even show their name.
I think I sent it to you. Some people actually did have genuine connections on the show, and they just never make it on the show. They're like in the pods, they have genuine connections, they're recorded, but they're completely edited out the show.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I guess my point is, if I were Chris, I would have just been like, all right, well, I'm gonna just hit one of these other pods and we're gonna make it do what it do, and I'm gonna find me, or I'm gonna try to find somebody. But what I'm not gonna do is sit up here and cry. You know, I mean, it's unfortunate, but I don't know. And I'm gonna be honest. I guess this is how you know I'm a terrible. I don't see it.
But I also think
Johnny doesn't seem like this, even when she's talking, even if I were to close my eyes and listen to her story, there's nothing about her or anything that she said that makes me feel like,
feel connected. But you also have to keep in mind, it's only the second episode for us, but this is probably, it's longer for them. This is not the second time that they're meeting in the pods. You know, they don't do it day by day. I think they spent a few weeks. I think they spent a few weeks in there, don't they?
I guess so.
So imagine if it's like 4 episodes. Imagine maybe they're only getting 1 week of one day of the week of them in the pod. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'll give you that. I would like to see some hidden footage. So now, but there was just nothing for me. I mean, granted, she's not my type, but you know, there's nothing about Johnny that just makes me like, oh, she's so great for her to have all these connections.
I didn't get that from anybody, honestly. I really just got drama. I didn't get
this is how you know, because if I were to be like, oh, that's my type, Lydia would have been like, if I were to pick a girl, I'd be like, I would have picked the crazy one. Anyway, so it goes both ways, women or men, you know. I like red flags clearly. So Izzy tells Johnny that you know, he knows that she broke things off with Chris, and they both agree that they're scared about being the damaged one. She talks about her ex going out of here, you know, and for passing away. That's what I want to say. From an overdose. She spills all her beans, puts all her shit out on the table. I will say that was, you know, you should share that type of situation. But for whatever reason, she said it was 7 years ago. But she wants no regrets. But you can clearly see, for whatever reason, it was like a light switch. Izzy just flipped. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt bad for her. I was like, she just shared something so deep with you and was so vulnerable.
I think, but there was something that she said along the lines of like,
but he asked her, I think I know what you're talking about. He asked her, have you because she was like, that's the only person I've ever been in love with. And she was like, and he was like, have you dated anybody after that? And she was like, yes. And that's, you know what? That's what it was. Izzy was like, I'm not about to sit up here and try to live up to this person.
Compete with someone. Yeah, that's no longer here.
So yeah, no. And then Lydia and Milton seem to still be getting along to go along. He gives her a B and shares with her that, you know, he's tall. He's tall as he gotta be 7 feet.
He's like 7 foot or something.
Yeah. And he believes because of his height, he won't live long. And so she promises to be there for him to the end of time. It was so sweet.
Or until Uche gives her another chance.
Stop giving it away. Okay. Um, so then Johnny is still hoping that Izzy is into her after he shut down on her, like the government. And he starts to tell her about the differences between her and Stacy. I said, this don't look good for you, boo. He tells her he likes how deep they got so fast, but tells her with Stacy it's easy and fun. And I said, oh, he likes convenience. And thinks that, she knows him so well. She thinks she knows him well through a wall, of course. Johnny says that, she had the same relationship with Chris, but chose him. So she says she wants to break out of her pattern. And he tells her after being married, it needs to make sense to him. And he basically says, and this don't make sense to me. So I'm good. I said, wow. And she leaves to go back and report to the other ladies. And says that Izzy's issues are gonna occur when he steps outside of the pod with Stacy. And she was a real hater too. That might be another reason why I didn't see it for Johnny. She was a hater. A big hater. But anyway, and then the other ladies encourage her to go back to try to talk to Chris after she done shit
She
it
was
on.
mad. She was mad that her boo ain't want her no more. She knew who the hell he was gonna pick.
And then we do see Izzy meet back up with Stacy. He let her know what he did, and tells her about the drama with Johnny. And I love that she wasn't even really interested. She was like, "Okay, that's between you and her. I don't talk to her like that, and I don't really care how she feel." That's what it was given.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, shout out to Stacy. I like,
I got my man. That's all I care about.
right. So he asked her where she is with the L word, and she says, she'll say it when the time is right. I just ain't gonna be around here throwing out I love yous. And basically says that she hasn't had a boyfriend in 4 years, so she just don't do this all willy-nilly. She needs real love.
That's because she been out. She been out in these streets, boy. Right. She been out in these or catching flights, okay?
And
not
then,
catching feelings.
And then we see Johnny. Gotta find my way back. Way back.
You an ass.
She goes to try and meet up with Chris, and he's feeling like, Izzy's backup at this point, and it feels awkward for him. So he meets her in the pod, and she tells him she realized she made the same mistake she's been making, and instead of going with what is safe, she decided to go after Izzy because he was emotionally unavailable to her. But she also in this same, and I didn't capture this word for word, but she basically tells him that he does not excite her, that he's kind of boring. If I were Chris, I wouldn't have to think twice either. And I'm confused but I get it. It's a show, whatever. So he basically says, I ain't trying to be nobody's fallback boy, and I need you to be excited about me. So he tells her, he wants to be with her, and she's like, so are we ready to get engaged? I said, you thirsty bitch. You just told you he doesn't excite you. He's boring. But where the ring at? I'm like, really? So, and he tells her, I gotta think about that. You moving real fast, real quick. And he goes back to the men's headquarters. This is why they tell you men talk more than women. He go back to the men's headquarters, and they like, well, what happened? And then Izzy tells him the whole nitty of the gritty, and it's like, yeah, dog, what?
Did it sound okay? So am I tripping? But why did it sound to me like Izzy? Well, until I saw it later on, it sounded like Izzy was basically saying the same thing that she said.
No, well, kind of, sort of. Basically, Izzy was like, he did say he did kept saying, she said you make her feel safe, but he was like, basically, she said you're boring, and like the same thing that she said to him. But he was like, but when she comes back, but I decided I need to go with what's safe, and I need to follow my heart, and I see myself laughing with you, and I need to be in a safe space. So I think that's why Chris was like, she said the exact opposite to me a few minutes ago. I think that's what, because I kind of agree with you that I felt like
but
said
she
the
didn't
same.
Say the opposite. That's what I'm saying. She didn't say the opposite. She said she needs to go with what's safe. She told him he's safe. Basically, you're boring, and I need to go with what's safe. So really, Izzy said the same thing that she said.
But I think she said something about like, you are always my first choice or something like that. I think
is that what it was?
I think that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second, aren't they saying the same damn thing?
Yeah. And so, Milton's out here talking to the guys, and then Uche out here trying to be everybody's damn counselor and telling him he feel like he ain't got to get engaged. He ain't got to do it right now. And I thought that was very interesting. We'll get into that. And so I was like, okay. And then meanwhile, on the opposite side, Aaliyah is telling Lydia she never knew love like this before. And she tells Lydia that Uche told her he can't see a future without her. And I said, it sounds like to me, y'all talk too damn much. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well,
What they say, you never let your right hand know what your
you
left
know
hand
what your left hand's doing. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then she goes into the pods, and Uche has gifted her a journal and shares a poem that he wrote for her. I did think that this was very cute. She loved it, and I said so did I. It definitely still was not brother to the night, but okay. She tells him she feels like she can trust him because he's so honest. He then shares with her that he hasn't been completely honest. Like, what? What? Not you, Mr. Example of honesty and truthfulness. I wish I had pearls on so I could clutch them. So, and he reveals that him and Lydia have dated in the past. Dun, 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 dun. I said, well, and I didn't even realize, y'all, I just ran through episodes 2 and 3. I'll mark it. I'll break it down.
I know. Look, I was like, it seemed like
it's going real fast.
Yeah.
So then we get into the good of the good. Right now, we're getting good into it. So this is episode 4. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button.
And a subscribe button.
Now, they show the footage, all right? Lydia and Uche apparently realized that they knew each other. Or she realized that she knew him because she recognized his voice when they first got in the pods. So she
also, I think he said his name. What's crazy, he didn't even recognize her voice. She was like, you don't recognize my voice? He said,
and no. You know what's really up? She has a very distinct voice. So that's kind of, that's insulting. If I've been, yelling your name out and putting nails in your back and doing all types of other things, at least you could do is recognize my voice.
The neighbors probably know it.
Right. So she asked him if they could just start all over. Look at God.
Yeah, she was like, this must be a sign.
Right. It must be destiny.
He said, no. This completely up the process.
Right. He's like, that doesn't seem smart. We already know what each other looks like. And, that's not really. So, Aaliyah is emotional behind this news and says that she needs a minute. So she wants to talk to Lydia, and Uche tells her that, Lydia is trustworthy. And I said, I think you're giving her too much credit. I think you need to know what's the rabbit in the pot crazy when you see it. Okay.
He do.
Like that fatal attraction type stuff. I think that y'all, so, she feels like Lydia is so supportive of their relationship and questions whether he still sees anything with Lydia. And he admits that Lydia was 100% and he couldn't basically give that back to her. So Aaliyah wants to trust that they're not going to do anything behind her back. And I'm not going to lie to you. I was kind of with Aaliyah. I'm not about to sit here and be looking over my shoulder because she feel away. It was just uncomfortable. Now, he asked her how things are going between her and Milton. And Aaliyah let him know that they're doing good. And he reveals that he doesn't think Milton is ready to be engaged. And he basically told him not to propose to her. And I was like, well, that's interesting because
why do you care so much?
Well, and one thing that Lydia did say to him when they figured out that they were in there together, she said, how are you going to feel if you see me leave here engaged to another man? And he couldn't really respond to that. So now it makes me think that he was trying to purposely sabotage because he didn't, and because he probably wanted to get her off the show because you're throwing salt in my game and I'm not really feeling it.
I don't know. Uche gives me that he really, he don't see it for Lydia.
Like well, really so Aaliyah asked if he loved her, and he says that he has love for her, but he's not in love with her. And Aaliyah agrees that, obviously the situation is not ideal, but she wants to talk to Lydia first before she makes any hard decisions. And so Then we see our good boy, Izzy Wizzy. He runs off to go propose to Stacy. And of course, she says yes. This wasn't a surprise.
I thought it was
I
cute how
just say that
excited he was to
they
do
did
it.
have one really cute date where he had the whole food out there. That I was like, that would be my type of date. Only thing that wasn't cute is he was already eating before she could even he was already on the other side of the wall. That would have been me. I would have been the one eating already. I wouldn't have asked or waited, but I expect him to wait since he, gifted her with the meal. I just so Stacy comes back to share her news, and Johnny is hating from afar. She talks about Izzy having bad credit. I said, "You are okay, bitch." Literally. She goes to meet up with Chris. She goes to profess her fake feelings and apologizes for taking him for granted. However, he tells her he's worrying about himself today. And he wants to choose someone who always chooses him. And he said, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. I'm just saying. I'm proud of Chris. Okay. Free yourself. Mm-hmm. So did I say that Sugar Butt and the man got engaged and they met? I don't know if we said that, but they got
no.
Oh, well, they got engaged. Sugar Butt.
It was awkward as hell.
Okay, you can go into that. Well, why was it awkward?
It was awkward. They saw each other. I felt like I don't think she was like super duper excited to see him. Like she was a little taken off, a little taken aback by like probably, his physical appearance, but it didn't really seem to bother her too much. It was more him that was a little bit standoffish. I felt like.
Yeah, he was.
He was being a little standoffish. And she's a beautiful girl.
I know she's not the Sugar Butt. No,
I think she cuter than he is.
I agree. So back at the lady's house, Aaliyah lets Lydia know that she knows. Lydia's like, oh my God, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to ruin his chances with the other ladies. And Aaliyah thinks it's cute. They're attracted to the same kind of man.
You mean, oh, you said Lydia. My fault. Yeah, you did say Lydia.
She asked how.
She's like, you're just like me. It's like you're like me.
She asked her how she feels emotionally, and she thinks that he, basically it just wasn't their time, and he had to learn some lessons, and now he's the perfect person for her. And Aaliyah tells her that she ain't trying to be looking over her shoulder, and Lydia tells her that she doesn't, want her to worry about that. And then she starts to deep dive into telling her everything about Uche that she did not ask for. She's like, his favorite color is this, and he does this, and
he lives here, and he has his dog named this, and he has this type of car.
And then to add the cherry on top, she lets her know that they were together 3 months prior. They were still smashing.
Bears. Mr. Truthful, Mr. Honesty.
Right. And so Aaliyah basically don't know if she can deal with the situation. So she go run back in that pod to speak with Uche. And she basically tell him, I'm really reluctant to be married or engaged to you. Because basically she's like, I don't know if I can trust neither one of y'all. And she basically brings up what Lydia said about, starting from the bottom, now we're here. Because Lydia was like telling her, oh yeah, he said when we got here that we could start all over, but we saw the footage. He didn't say that. He never said that. So you
did she say he said that?
Yeah. She told her, because that's why she brought it back up to Izzy. I mean, not Izzy, Uche. And when she got in the pod, she was like, she was talking about y'all starting over. And then
but she didn't say that he said that, right?
No, Lydia said that he said that. Yes, Lydia said that he said that. Absolutely. Yes. I remember that because I was like,
I must have missed that.
And when I watched it back, I was like, why would she say that? And then I feel like she went and told Milton the same thing. That he was trying to, when really it was her the whole time. Yeah, she's real delusional. So basically, Uche says that, he doesn't want to be in a relationship with Lydia. And Uche says that,
been there, done it.
Right. And so he's like, but she's like, okay, but you 3 months ago. So what is that about? And he's like, no, all I want is you. Like he's really on some stuff, he's trying. And she decides that she's gonna stick it out. And I said, girl, wait till you get to the other side. You're gonna be disappointed. But then, Lydia goes to meet Milton, and then she decides to spill the beans and be honest about her dating Uche previously. She tries to act like there's no feelings there, and obviously Milton is a little taken aback by the news. But then she tells him,
It's given she would have never told him if Uche didn't tell Aaliyah.
I
Why did
agree.
Uche have to be the first to say something?
Right. She tells him she wants to marry him. He's like, I need 5 minutes. This is a lot. You're doing a lot. I'm gonna be honest, aside from maybe just not being physically attracted, but even, and I like nerds. But for me, he's not emotionally mature enough to be here, I think. The fact that he just can't speak or communicate how he that's not attractive to me. I don't know. I think that he's, again, I don't think it has anything to do with his age.
And the thing is when you talk to him about his age and his maturity, he always brings it back to, well, look at all I've accomplished at such a young age. I graduated this early and I was already in college courses and I did all this. We know you're smart, dude.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
So then, she comes back crying, and Stacy tells her that, he's right to feel shocked. This is obviously shocking news, and she needs to get her together and go back and talk to him. So, once she starts stop sliding down the wall, she goes back into the pod. And she tells him that, she was with Uche 3 months ago, but that shouldn't affect them. He admits if he'd known, he would have stopped talking to her. And so she tries to guilt trip him into putting himself in her shoes. And I was just like, it's the manipulation of it all. And then he's honest with her and admits that, he still has a lot of emotional work to do. And I was like, yay! I was really proud of him until that was your moment. I'm sorry. Once you realize that was your moment to be like, I need to take a step back. I'm not good for anybody right now. I need to be good to myself. But instead, he lets Lydia talk him into, oh no, but I'm still working on myself. I'm still a work in progress. Bitch, you probably need to sit on the bench and heal too. So she especially since she was just your ex 3 months ago, you clearly need to sit and heal. So she feels that it's great that he discovered that at 24 and tells him that if she doubts, if he has doubts, ask Uche. And I was like, and he seems to think that this is actually funny. And I was like, so you didn't see that as disrespectful? I don't know. It couldn't have been the other way around and it been said to me. I would have been knocking down some pods. It would have got real. So yeah, Stacey and Izzy finally meet and they seem to genuinely be happy to see each other. I cried. That's what my notes say. I cried. It was cute. It was cute. Let's hope he doesn't turn out.
I thought it was cute when he was like super excited to propose to her.
Yeah, I did think that was cute.
That was really cute.
And then Milton meets back up with Lydia. He questions whether the age difference is a thing, or what if he has to move for his job, and would she be willing? And of course, she gonna co-sign and do whatever.
Because I want to get chose.
She wants to get chose, and she wants to do anything to stay in the same proximity as Uche. That's what I've been dying to hold in this whole review. This is where this girl. Granted, I still got some episodes to go, but what it's giving is she's going to do anything to stay in this process and stay close to Uche. So, and my notes say being the young, impressionable sucker he is, he proposes to her. As my dad was a sucker. Anyway, and then Uche goes to propose to Aaliyah, and she doesn't show up and he leaves feeling defeated. And I said, my good girl, you got some sense about yourself. Run from the toxicity. I'm all about it. So that's where we're at right now. I know there's more to go, but so
I know anytime you like talk, I'm just like, well, but
that was the breakdown of episodes 1 through 4. We appreciate you being here with us. If you have not already, Shade Squad and all of our new viewers, please make sure that you've hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG. And yes, we will catch you in a couple days because, again, it is not hard to binge watch this at all. So yeah, we will catch you in a couple days for maybe episodes 5 through 7. I'll try to make them a little shorter for you, y'all. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.